Hi, welcome back to Pixie Woo. I'm going back to the Bond themes that Sam's been doing, and I'm going to do a makeup from the film Thunderball. I am going to do Claudine Auger, and she played Dominique Duval. I'm hoping I said those right. If I didn't, you'll all correct me anyway. So let me get started. So to start off with, I'm going to use a little bit of Boy Brown Skin Foundation. This one is in 3.5 Warm Beige. I'm just going to work that all over the skin. Now this film was set in 60s, I think it was 65 actually, so the makeup was kind of 60s-esque, which you know I love anyway. So I'm going to work that all over the skin. I'm going to move on to the eyes, and I'm going to start off with a little bit of MAC Brulee. I'm going to take a 217, I'm going to run that right the way over the eyelid, just to act as a base. And underneath the eye too. I'm just going to get a little bit of Studio Finish Concealer from MAC. This one's NW20. I just want to run a little bit just over where I've got a slight blemish in my brow. And I'll use it right the way under the brow to even that skin tone out a little bit. I'm then going to get my same 217 I used before, and this time a little bit of vanilla. And I'm going to run that over where I just pop the concealer. And that's just going to seal that into place, but also add a little bit of a matte highlighter. Then using the same brush again, I am going to take a little bit of Scene and a little bit of this one, which I think is Hoax from MAC. Do correct me if I'm wrong with that colour, I might have a look myself afterwards, but it doesn't say it on the back. So I'm going to mix those two together because I think Scene's a little bit too blue, and I'm just going to sit that along the lash line and slightly through the crease of the eye. So you're making a little bit of a V there. So those colours just take away a little bit of the blueness that Scene gives off on its own. So again, through the socket and along the lash line. Now, for those of you that have a mono lid, just take it along the lash line. You can still create this look, but it just won't go up as high. So you're just going to keep it to that bit there. I'm then going to take a little bit of MAC Black Tracks, and I'm going to use a liner brush. You can use an angle brush if you find it easier. And I'm just going to run that right the way along the lash line. And slightly flick up in the corner. Really quick and easy. Don't worry if you're not very good at doing liner, because I'm going to put an eyeshadow over the top of it anyway, so really don't worry. Just as long as you get the kind of depth of black that it gives, you know, the real darkness. I'm going to run that inside the waterline as well while I've got the product in my hand. Then I'm going to get Carbon from MAC and a MAC, this one is a 266. And I'm going to run that along that lash line, that line that I just did. Just to soften it slightly. Slightly pulling upwards. This almost creates kind of like a soft focus, my voice is going, a soft focus finish. So really softly blending that. This is why you don't have to worry if you're not very good at liner, because this is going over the top of it and softening it. I'm then going to get a MAC 239. I'm going to rub that along the top even more. so it's even softer still. And then you think, oh, she must be finished now. No, I'm not. I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to add a little bit of the scene, which was the bluish grey, along the top of that. So it's fading the black out a little bit. So black right the way along. Softly pulling it upwards. And then my 239 to blend that and make it even more soft finish. Then a little bit of my scene right the way along. Okay, using my same 217, I'm going to use the slightly softer colour that I used. I think it's Hoax. I'm just going to run that along the underneath of the eye. And my Carbon, and just run them underneath too. Trying to keep it as quick and easy as I can. I'm then going to take a little bit of pale yellow and I'm going to pull my eye down and just run that inside. That will calm down in a minute and not be quite so strong. Okay, I then need to move on to the brows, and I have got, this is Anastasia Brow Wiz in Brunette. I'm going to brush my brows through with the brush end and then colour them in with the other end. I'm going to use a powder over the top of this as well, because otherwise it's not going to be, I just prefer a powder over the top actually. So, let's get a rough shape. My brows were quite straight at the back. You know, they didn't curve down too much. So, let's go straight across there. And I like to use a pencil to kind of plot out the shape. That's giving me a rough shape. I'm then going to take a little bit of, I think, charcoal brown, and I'm on a MAC 263. I'm just going to brush upwards just to colour the brows in slightly. God, I love 60s. It's my fave. I think it's because it's a lot of makeup and I like a lot of makeup. I'm then going to add a bit of mascara. I have got Avon Super Extend Extreme. Let's whack some of that on. Gonna put lashes. Can't have the 60s without lashes, can you? So, plenty of that. I'm hoping by the end of it that cream inside the eye colour, the cream light colour, will fade down a little bit. Even with mascara it's a bit softer, isn't it? Putting mascara in it makes it softer. Plonker. I'm going to use my Studio Finish concealer. I've got an NW25 and an NW20 because I like to mix the two together because I'm in between. I'm going to run that. Oh, that's a bit dark actually, the 25. Let's add a bit of 20 on there. And I like to pull it down slightly onto the cheek. And around the nose. Basically, anywhere you have the odd imperfection. Nobody's perfect. So anywhere you need it. Right, I need to hold all that makeup in place, and I have got a Gemma Kid powder. This one is Bio Mineral Perfecting Powder in 02 Medium. I'm going to push that onto the skin. Do you know what I really love about the Bond looks is the girls wore a lot of makeup, and I especially love the kind of 70s Bond girls where they wore so much blusher. Yeah, bring it on, can't wait to do one of them. Same brush, and I'm going to use a little bit of Bobbi Brown bronzer. This one's in Neutral 1 or Natural 1. Natural 1. Just pop it on and then give a smile. And circular motions to work it in to the face. Remembering that in the 60s everything was a little bit matter, so not too much shine. Now she has the little mole here, which I'm not going to do because it would just look drawn on. But I am going to add a lip, if I can find it. I have got, it was kind of an orangey lip in the look that I'm doing. And it is, I've got a Perfections, which is Marks and Spencer's, and this one's in Rouge. It's kind of a, yeah, orangey red. I'm gonna pop it on, rub it together, and then I'm gonna take some of it off. I'm gonna just use my finger to get a good shape with it. And actually I don't need to take some of it off, that's gone down about right. And lastly, for some lashes. Okay, where are my lashes? I can't decide whether to go for 46 or 606. I think I'm going to go for 46. So a thin layer of glue on the back. I'm going to place them on. I'm not going to go too close in here because it really makes my eyes water. The glue, I think I'm a little bit allergic to duo glue, so if I go too far in there my eyes stream. So I'm winging it out a tiny bit, and I'm just going to try and pull it up a little bit so it wings it out a tiny bit more. Give them a squeeze so they all blend together. That glue will dry clear in a minute. I'm going to pop a bit more mascara on there. I'm a Bond girl, for God's sake. I need more mascara. More. Now I'm ready to help 007 to conquer the world. Well, there you go, there's my finished Bond look. I hope you've enjoyed it. My brother's just rung me and I'm going to meet him for Wagamama's for lunch, dressed as a Bond girl. I hope you're all fantastic and have a lovely, lovely day and evening, and I will see you all again soon. Bye-bye.